Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new transfer news and update video. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And of course, we're still in the international break. Premier League football hasn't yet returned. So I thought I'd bring you guys another update because there has been lots of news and rumours doing the rounds over the last week or so since my last video. So why don't we jump straight into it? Before we do though, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you haven't already. And the first piece of news is about Adama Traore and Francisco Trincao. Now, Adama Traore was and sort of has been the talk of the last two transfer windows in the summer. It was, is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? We thought he was going to go to Tottenham. In the end, remained a Wolves player. But in the end, in January, talk accelerated. And of course, he went and joined Barcelona with a 30 million euro option to buy. And over the last couple of weeks or so, there have been more and more rumours that Barcelona do not want to activate this. A story from Sport, which is a big publication over in Spain, they seem to keep going with the same story, that there are three options for Barcelona and Adama Traore. And three of these options are, basically, they don't want to spend any money on Adama. They don't want to, and I don't even think it's that they've got no money, because we can see that they are interested in players like Rafinha of Leeds, and like I've seen them linked with a couple of other big players. And I think what it is that Barcelona know that they've got good relations with Wolves. Jorge Mendes can get involved and they can negotiate a deal to suit them. But Wolves have got to make sure that it suits us as well. So the options really are a swap deal, which would include Francisco Trincao, a straight swap. Trincao for Adama, no money changing hands, or if there is money changing hands, it's probably going to be similar value to help both clubs with financial fair play. So a deal that would include Francisco Trincao to join the club, and or Ricky Puig. It's Puig. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation of that. So Ricky Puig is also another player that Wolves have said to have interest in. He's a young midfield talent at Barcelona right now. So maybe he could be involved in a deal as well. Or the other option that Barcelona could probably try and get sorted is for Adama Traore to sign a new deal, a new contract at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then rejoin Barcelona on loan for next season. Now, this one, a lot of people don't think this one makes sense, but it could do if Adama Traore signs another couple of year deal and then Wolves make sure there is an obligation to buy at the end of that contract. But with the amount of player and agent power these days, I just cannot see that happening. Surely Barcelona will know that Adama Traore's got a year left on his deal, and Adama could just wait until the end of next season and join Barca for free. So it's very, very interesting. I think between now and probably not until the end of the summer window are we going to hear the end of this Adama Traore and Trincao saga. The Trincao one is interesting now as well, because Mundo Deportivo over in Spain as well, they reported last week that they believe that Wolves have decided they won't be signing Trincao, or at least they won't be exercising their buy option on Trincao. So maybe that means there will be some sort of swap deal included. I don't know, but it's also been reported that Sporting and Benfica are both also interested in Trincao and could possibly look to loan him in the summer if things don't go to plan with Trincao to Wolves. But it was the Barcelona president yesterday, Laporta. He had said that he thinks a swap deal for Trincao and Adama Traore could be a good option. They've said it many times that they're happy with Adama, but they obviously just don't want to spend the money on him. Now, I just mentioned Benfica. Rafa Silva, who I did very briefly bring up, I believe, in the last video, he's been linked with Wolves again. It said that Wolves have been exploring the possibility of signing Rafa in this upcoming summer window. It said that Rafa is open to move to the Premier League. Wolves obviously would be most probably one of the most ideal options. And it said it could be between 20 and 30 million euros, any deal there. Of course, Bruno Lage has managed him before. He's going to know what he's about. But that could be another wide option if the Trincao talks don't go ahead. Moving on to Romain Saiss, it was said that he'd signed, or not signed, but he'd been offered a new 2-year deal at Wolves. We're obviously waiting to see whether that's been accepted or rejected. Apparently, he rejected a new deal at the club last year. But he was quoted in saying that he's having a lot of fun in the Premier League, but he's not closing any doors. and he's going to see the most interesting project for him this summer, whether that be at Wolves or elsewhere. Now, French outlet L'Equipe had reported that Betis and Villarreal in Spain are looking at Saiss. Wolfsburg are also looking at him, as are Marseille, Lyon, Rennes and Strasbourg. The French clubs are looking at signing Romain Saiss. So he's got plenty of options on the table. It just depends for him. I think long-term, Wolves have got to improve the defensive department. Romain Saiss may become a first-team player, or well, go from a first-team player to becoming a squad player. And for him, is he going to want to be a squad player? It'll be interesting to see regarding Romain Saiss. Now, Ruben Neves, another key player at the Wolves, in the Wolves squad. Of course, injured, unfortunately. We wish him all the best with his recovery. We'll hope that we can see him back in a Wolves shirt again before the end of the season. Express and Star have said the Wolves are trying to negotiate and instigate contract talks with Ruben Neves. They know there is big interest in Neves. They know that some top European sides are interested in Neves and could well make a move this summer. So Wolves are working hard to try and pin him down to a brand new contract at Molineux. Now, this contract may well include some sort of release clause that, you know, both suits the player and the club long term, but that would be fantastic if Wolves can sign Ruben Neves on a new long-term deal. Another player that has signed a deal recently is Pedro Neto, and according to Mail, PSG, the French giant, are reportedly interested in Pedro Neto this summer. Of course, it probably depends on what happens between now and the end of the season, if he can regain his form that we've seen him have. I don't think any club would sort of gamble on him with him not really having a strong run in the team right now. I'm hoping that he's going to be back for the Villa game this weekend coming. But Pedro Neto, he's wanted by big clubs, and it shows the direction now Wolves are going in as a club, that we've got teams like Barcelona, PSG, Manchester United or whatever looking and wanting to sign our players. And we're going to finish off now with a little bit of a strange one. Now, this came from RMC Sport, and it is that Wolves are one of a few clubs that have sort of been tracking the progress of Rennes manager Bruno Genesio. Again, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now, the Frenchman is currently doing quite well over with Rennes in Ligue 1 in France. And it said the Wolves are reportedly tracking his progress. Now, it doesn't make clear in this article whether this interest from Wolves was last summer, maybe before we appointed Bruno Lage, or maybe if it is for a future project. Of course, it would be daft for the club not to be tracking different managers. We don't know. Bruno could turn around tomorrow and say, right, I've had enough and go. Or he could hit a bad run of form. You never know in football. Things can change overnight. But bit of a strange article. It's also said that Spurs and Everton, which are probably two teams a little bit more understandable. Conte, you never know what's going to happen there with Spurs. And obviously Frank Lampard at Everton. His future, you could say, depending on the rest of the season, could be uncertain as well. So Bruno Genesio, remember that name possibly for the future. I remember a lot of people have moaned about this story yesterday, but I do remember back in, it was last year that articles and the press in Portugal were saying that Bruno Lage was Wolves' #1 target, and this is when Nuno was doing quite well at the club. So it's always ideal just to keep one eye on these reports, just in case anyway. But guys, let me know your thoughts on any of the stories today in the comment section down below. If you've got any questions, do let me know. I'll try my best to answer those for you. And as always, be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Premier League matchday content will be back in the next day or so, so keep your eyes out for that. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.